Behind Them Sticks. This is your boy Ham Solo. I am with the Salt Mines. What's going on, brother? How you doing this evening?
Oh yeah.
I'm doing great actually. You know, after I finally hit my goal, 1,000 subs, so I'm feeling amazing today.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a whole lot more than I got. You doing good, man? You've been plugging.
It's that grind, man. You already know. It's just that grind.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, with that being said, I know you just said you are growing, but you can always use some more growing. What gaming and social media platforms are you on so people can contact you, hit you up, see how you doing, or game with you or whatnot?
Man, I'm on everything. The only downside is I actually have another name that I go by online. I never actually told anybody that's subscribed to my Salt Mines channel. I haven't told them the name I go by online. But the name I go by online is Rings. RING_Z. And the
I
three
see that
Z's
there.
Yeah, the 3 Z's. And there's just two reasons to this name. Number one, it's a pun on the whole Red Rings of Death thing for Xbox.
Oh Lord.
Funny thing is, I've never actually had that Red Ring of Death thing happen on my Xbox, still in the closet. So that's number one. And number two, the 3 Z's is because I feel like people have always been sleeping on me, bro.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's the name I go by online. So usually my Xbox name is I'm Rings. My gaming YouTube channel is I'm Rings. Pretty much anything. That's where you can find me at.
all right. That's what's up, man. Well, I gotta know, what have you been playing lately? What's been happening? What's good?
Specifically, I'm juggling 3 games right now. So I haven't finished the Gunk yet. It's not a long game, so I just have to, sit down for the last couple hours and play that game out. So far, I like the story. It's nothing, it's nothing like mind blowing, but it's not bad. I probably give that game like a 7, maybe a 7.5, like 8, somewhere around that area, somewhere in that little range, depending on how I'm feeling that day. It's a good game.
The salt, some of the saltiness around that game. I feel like people don't realize that this game is $25. Right. It is not a $70 game.
Dude, they're comparing that game to like big AAA games that had $120 million budgets. It's like, dude, this game was made by an indie studio. I'm pretty amazed at what they made. It runs amazing on my PC and it runs fine on the console. So I'm not tripping. And also the game cost me $0. So it exactly $0. So I'm actually having fun. I think that's the thing, right? I think with them, they come from a position of they're used to spending $70. Like,
them?
The people I make fun of. I make fun of everybody though. It's just they're the sweetest fun to make fun of, and it's abundant. It's everywhere. So, it's not hard to find. I said it in my videos. You just type in PlayStation, find any post, and just look under it. It's there. So yeah. Anyway. I don't know, man. They trip about it. I think they come from a position of like they're spending $70 on all their games because they don't have an equivalent service. Therefore, if you're spending $70, it has to be good.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Or you just lose $70. Whereas I'm coming from a position of more so the future. So I don't really have the pressure that they have when it comes to spending money on games. Like it's not the same pressure. Like the other game, the third. Yeah, because the thing is I'm not losing anything. I'm not losing a dime. I literally could just start the game up on the cloud, start it up locally, start it up on the console, on my phone, and I don't spend a dime. So I don't have that pressure. I don't have to like the game. I play it and I go, oh, this is pretty good. Play through it, I'm good. So that's one game I've been playing. Halo is the second. That one I've been touching on and off because I'm doing the campaign right now. I took a break from the multiplayer, so But I'm playing that on Legendary, so I haven't really had time to sit down and like fully just blow through the campaign. That's game number 2, and game number 3 would be Stardew Valley. Man, that game is addicting.
So I've heard. I work at a vintage game store, and there's one dude that walked in. And he's like, "Man, I've put so many hours on the Stardew Valley," and I was just like, "What is it with that game?" Like, I see it just hopped on the Game Pass
Man,
just recently, and he is just like, "I don't know, man, but like, I can't stop playing it." So now I'm looking at that game, thinking, do I really want to go down that river? Because I am a sucker for, oh, now I'm playing this and I'll play this for a long time. Like I don't know if you've ever played it, but Ark Survival Evolved.
I haven't played that game, but I've been seeing it for so long, but I've just never sat down and installed it to actually play it.
You're either in or you're out. That's one of those kind of games that you're either in or you're out, because this game will suck your life away. I put over 120 days into that game.
Jeez, man.
And just like, I just can't help it. I love talking about it because it's just my thing. But like, that's why I'm saying I'm looking at Stardew Valley. Like,
Sheesh,
big numbers, I ain't ready.
2,880 hours. Yeah, Stardew Valley is kind of like Animal Crossing to a degree.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, and you know, Animal Crossing
seems relaxing though.
Yeah, you could dump a lot of time into games like that because you're just chilling. So like, and it's local co-op. That's another thing. So me and my girl, we put it up on the TV. She has her Xbox controller, I got my controller. You know, we fire it up through Game Pass, and then we just be sitting there playing. Like, I think we've dumped like 63 hours or something into it so far. And we just downloaded it.
Recently. I'm gonna have to throw that on for me and my lady. That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know it was couch co-op.
Yeah, that's another thing. We didn't know until we started playing, because it's got co-op. But at first, the way we started playing was she would have the whole screen on the console, and then I would start the game up on Game Pass on my phone, and I would use the Razer Kishi, and then we would play together that way. So that way we could sit in the same room. I'll have my own screen, she has her own screen. But then we saw that it had local co-op, so we tried that, and then it works out great.
Is it the split screen, or are you on the same screen? So it's split screen.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll have to check that out. That sounds pretty dope. So those are the 3 games that you're playing right now. That's pretty dope. How long have you been like gaming? Like, what's the first system that you've ever owned for yourself? Like, not the first one that you've ever bought, like, because a lot of parents back in the day got you a system for the first time, or cousins or whoever passed you down a system. What was the first one that you ever had in your room, or in you and your brother's room, or sisters, or whoever?
Okay, so that's split. So the first one that I bought was the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
And when I bought it, the PlayStation 2 was about to come out already. And I bought the PlayStation 1 with some money that I had earned from like some of my art. But the first console that I ever just like had was the Xbox. Like, my dad actually got me that as a Christmas gift. So I was like real little, and this giant Santa Claus bag came to the house. And I was like, what the hell is this? So then I opened it, and then it was a box inside. And I was like, oh, man. Opened the next box, it was another box inside. I was like, bro, what did my dad send me? Like, what's up with all these boxes? Then I opened that second box. Bruh, I saw the Xbox in there. I almost passed out. I was like, what? You know, I thought it was like, excuse my language, but I thought it was bullshit. I was like, this isn't real. This is not real. I opened the box. It had Halo in there. I was like, man, I started crying. Because I never got any gifts like that, especially around Christmas or anything like that. So when my dad kind of just showed up, and that was the gift he had, and he tricked me with this big Santa Claus bag. So like, I'm not gonna lie, like I do have like a slight attachment to Xbox because it's my childhood, but like I'm not biased, and I don't dislike PlayStation. I actually game on PC mostly, so I guess you could say I'm like a PC supremacist.
All right, so you had the Xbox. The first console you personally bought was a PlayStation. And now you're making content and stuff like that about gaming and everything. So I gotta just ask, I ask this every episode, why is gaming so important to you? Like, what makes that, just stick around in your head and you just have to make content? You gotta keep playing it, gotta get new systems.
I have a simple answer for that. That is the one thing that no one's ever been able to take from me. I realized that the other day. I was like, I've been fired from jobs. I've been let go from jobs. I've quit jobs. I've, dealt with stupid teachers in college, stupid teachers in high school. I've dealt with losing my will to even draw anymore because somebody stole my entire portfolio. Bro, I had a portfolio like this thick, full of drawings, paintings, since I was like young, so it was years and years of progression, and I lost the will to do that. I don't even like doing that no more. I've learned a lot of people could take a lot of things from me, but you can't take gaming. You can't take what's inside my head. You can't take my comedy, what makes me laugh. You can't take anything that is something I enjoy. The gaming industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry worth more than a lot of other entertainment industries combined. And that is the one thing I know cannot be taken from me. So, and it's not just that, dude. It's the stories that these people get to tell. I'm very passionate when it comes to stories. One of the ones that's been hitting me the hardest lately is Psychonauts, because the first Psychonauts, it was a good game. I didn't play it when it came out. I played it like way after. But the second one, like that was more relevant to me because, now I'm an adult. And, obviously I kind of dealt with a little bit of therapy and stuff and like really sitting back and looking at that game and the characters and what they were going through and the struggles they dealt with in life. Like, bro, I realized I related to a lot of these characters and I didn't even realize it until I like really sat down and thought about it. So, it's just like real, I guess, personal. Like some of these stories that these writers tell, it's just, it hits a little bit. So I really appreciate, gaming. Not only do I have the stories, but then I have all these different art forms from everybody. People who created Stardew Valley. The guy that was one guy, that was what he wanted to make. And he made it. And it's one of the most popular games on PC. Then he got to put it on console. Now it's on mobile for $5. You know what I mean? And this guy got to live his life through just some little art he wanted to make. I'm really passionate when it comes to art because no one can take that from you, which is why I'm passionate about making these videos and editing and all that stuff, because nobody can take that from me. So yeah, anyway, that's my answer, and I learned it the other day when I really sat and thought about it. So you can tattoo that on my forehead because that's what I believe now. Sorry the answer was so long.
No. That was a really good answer. Very interesting way to look at that. It kind of made me think about my past a little bit. So that was a really nice answer to me. I thought it was perfect. You didn't have to dumb that down at all. Perfectly said.
Well, good. I'm glad that answer was a likely one. I hope it doesn't make people click off the video. Psychonauts 2.
well, like, everybody has that game that like kind of transforms the way you think a little bit. Either it's a bunch of different games or just like that game that like got you to being able to meet people or whatever. Like, there's just a lot, and I'm not trying to sit here and talk about myself right now, but like there's a lot that has to do with gaming and its community around it. Everybody is kind of can be, I shouldn't say everybody is, but everybody can be together, but in so many different forms and so many different ways. So like you're never going to run into the same gamer, and it's really cool and it's really crazy, and this is our platform to be on an even playing field. And it really like that's why I don't really take gamer score and stuff like that serious, because it's just like, hey, you enjoy Halo, I don't care if you have a 2 million gamer score. I personally have like a 60, like close to like a 60,000 gamer score on Xbox.
Sheesh.
Is that a lot? It doesn't feel like a lot at all.
I think that's more than like your average person, because I think I'm like at like 40,000 or something like that.
Okay,
So,
but like to me, it's like the thing I'm concerned with, like,
it's not
is
your end
like,
goal. It's
well,
not
like it's not, because like I don't care, because half of the time when I'm getting gamer score like that, it's from games that are kind of meh. You know what I mean?
It really only matters to achievement hunters. Achievement hunters is who that matters to, because they're the ones that like they'll play little doo-doo games just to get the points, and you know complete. They're not playing it for the games; they're just playing it for the They're not playing it for the games. They're just playing it for the points. So, it kind of only matters to achievement hunters. It's the same with like, PlayStation people and trophies. They're like, oh, well, did you get the trophy? It's like, well, what does that matter?
Yeah,
I'm still playing the game. I don't need to 100% the game just to prove I'm playing the game.
my version of 100%ing a game is giving away my time. Time. Like if I don't beat the game, in my eyes, it's not done. Once I beat the game, then it's done when I say so after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I can get into, like, for instance, Immortal Phoenix Rising. I beat that game, and now I'm like a third of the way into that game, but technically I'm done with it. Yeah. I'm not gonna go in there and try to 100% it, because I don't care to do that. That's not why I bought the game. I didn't buy the game to go do things that other people's are, like all these little things that people are asking you to do. I'm there for the story. I just want to get the story, get the point of what's going on, and maybe I'll play it a little bit as like a kind of an arcadey kind of game, because that's how I look at games after I beat it. It's like, oh, I beat the game, figured out the story. This now looks arcadey to me. Like, I'm just playing it for fun at this point. I don't really care what happens, because I already know the end game.
Yeah. And I agree with that, I don't really replay games a lot. And it's very rare that I replay games. Like, it's so slim. You'd probably be better with me handing you a bar of gold than me replaying games. But for people that do replay them, I mean, I totally understand. Like, once you've already figured out the story, you can only be playing it after that point, just because it's fun. Because when I hear people say, oh man, I've beat God of War like 12 times, my mindset is like, you don't have nothing else to play?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
12 times, bro. What's wrong with you? I feel like either you can't afford another game, or like, what?
Or it is just your absolute love. You can't take yourself away from, and that's fine if you want to admit that. But like, there's some people that be beating, God of War 10 times, and then Ratchet and Clank 6 times, and then turning around and beating Returnal 8 times, and I'm just like,
why?
And they're doing that for like bragging rights or something. Like, I don't know. But I don't
get it, man. The game loses its fun factor after I've already beat it. Like, once I figure out the story, and then really if I come back, it's gonna only be because the mechanics are good.
Or multiplayer. Or like a multiplayer,
Yeah, like,
see, I can run through a game like 3 or 4, 5 times if it has good multiplayer and good mechanics.
Exactly. So like, for instance, a game like Halo, I really love the mechanics. I really love the grappling hook. I really love the guns. I really love zipping around the world like fucking Spider-Man. I don't even use the vehicles, man. So the reality of it is even when I beat the campaign, I'm probably still gonna come back to it just because I like zipping around the world and like.
And then when multiplayer comes, it's gonna be
yeah.
See you later. It's gonna be see you later. I'm online.
So the reality of it is like if the game has good mechanics, I'll come back to it. Like if it's something fun, like that. But for the most part, I do not replay games at all. I just can't. It would be like if somebody was like, "Oh man, I listened to that J. Cole album for the 200th time this week." I'd be like, "Bro, there's like so much other music out here. You don't have to listen to that one album that many times."
Yeah, right. It ain't the 90s no more. You don't have to be jamming the same CD in your car.
Right, anymore. Man. Like I have so much music that I just get lost in it sometimes, and I'm like, there's no way I could get bored because after I've gotten my fill out of the one song, I'm on the next, and then the next, and then the next. And I think that's how I think about games. Like I beat the game, if it's fun, I might come back to it a couple times. Like, you know, if it's just me playing for the mechanics, or maybe if they got some DLC. But for the most part, I'm on to the next game already, and on to the next game already after I beat that. So I don't have that type of dedication.
Yeah, I clearly don't understand overplaying a game. Like, I mean, I guess if you spending $70 on every game,
man, you better get your fill out of it.
You trying to drain that for every dollar it's worth. But I'm good on that. I mean, I buy games I like, and and sometimes I buy a flopper. Like, you know, sometimes I do
just to see.
Sometimes no, not just to see. Sometimes I buy a game and I'm like, this is ass. so like I'm like a third of the way playing in it, and like it's not ass to everybody, but like to me, I like for instance, Watch Dogs Legion. Yeah. I played like a third into it, and I just could not connect to anything. And I was also in London, which I hate playing video games in London. I just hate it for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't like driving in London games. I hate it. But
it's the city design.
Yeah, it is a city design because everything feels like a big circle. like it's just not that fun to me. But anyways, sometimes I buy a game that I don't like, and like I'm not gonna put in hours upon hours on a game that I just don't care about.
Yeah.
Even if I pay for it. So like I'm happy that I got something like Game Pass where I'm like, all right, this game is fire. I actually need to buy this because whenever it goes off, I still own it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you see Sony trying to do something with that. Spartacus.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they got because they have to come out with something that's gonna make it look good. Like Microsoft has their their approach with it, with cloud gaming and everything like that. What is PlayStation gonna do to make it stand apart? I don't know. That's not a question to you. It's just like a flat out question to anybody that wants to answer. But I
have my my guesses.
What do you think? Day and date? I think eventually.
I think eventually that's gonna have to come because, you know, at some point it's gonna become a threat. Game Pass is gonna become a threat to their money. Because you see a lot of people, they argue console sales, and it's like, dude, that's not where the money is. The money is in the services.
No, they say it all the time. Console sales, they lose money on that. Now, I mean, eventually, if you sell so much, you'll start to make some profit out of it. But that's not where the bag is, though. That's not where the bag is.
If you've ever worked retail, like say Best Buy, they don't make the money on the selling you the MacBook. They make the money on selling you the MacBook plus the protection plan, plus this, plus that, plus here's a protective sleeve to put it in, and you know, here's our Geek Squad guarantee, and blah 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 blah. That's where all the additional money is. It's the services that they can offer you. So it's the same with these consoles. You know, PlayStation Plus is cool, but it's not the end all be all. You know, and Game Pass, I'm not saying it's perfect, you know, but it's the best option that you can have right now. it offers you everything across all platforms except for PlayStation, which they said they'd be willing to put it on PlayStation, but Sony ain't gonna allow that.
No, and I mean, I'm kind of happy about that too, because I don't want it to be like one bowl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want it to be like a couple different bowls, and I want some of this today, and I want some of this tomorrow, kind of thing. I'm not a war guy where I'm gonna stand up for my console. I am more into Xbox just because that's kind of what I've always been. But I'm not gonna hate PlayStation because I actually started on PlayStation before I was on Xbox. So
yeah.
I mean, why am I gonna hate something that brought me through times after like Sega and stuff like that? Like Sega's really the if
the OG.
I'm kind of like Everborn in the sense of like, man, the real console war was Nintendo Sega. Like that was when I was a little kid.
That was pretty savage. There's a whole documentary on that, dude.
Yeah, there is a documentary on that. I watched that documentary, but I remember when I was a little kid, I used to make fun of my cousin for having a Nintendo because I had, the real Mortal Kombat with the blood in it.
Could you imagine doing it now at your adult age?
No, I cannot. And there are people with real serious jobs out there that they sound crazy on the internet with the way that they defend something that would not defend them ever. I don't even think they defend even the way that they're so proud about their system because it's creepy.
Dude, Sony is like my girl, right? Sony is like the hot girl, she's just there and they all want to be known or noticed by her, and she ain't giving them the time of the day. that's what that is. They some of them have been banned from Discords and all types of wild stuff, just because they're so damn toxic and they just don't see it. And it's like, bro, you're crazy. That's why I like making fun of people, because it's just funny to me.
It is funny. It's been a funny holiday season on Twitter. That's for sure.
Twitter's a cesspool.
It's hilarious though. As much as I cringe, I am scrolling and just laughing and just scrolling and laughing.
That's where I came up with the names, man. That's where the salt mines came up from. I was just like, I'm just going into these mines. I'm just sitting here trying to dig up what people are doing. It's entertaining.
All right. So with that being said, what kind of drew you to making content about it specifically?
Well, like I said earlier, originally I had two other channels. So one was gaming news, except with really clean editing. That one's actually my most professional channel, because that's when I got into what's the word, like visual effects and stuff like that. So I would create all these 2/3 buttons and all this fancy overlays and stuff. So that I started with gaming news, and then I got into an actual gaming channel because people wanted to see me, play games and stuff. So, but those channels didn't grow that well, which I learned. So then I took a long break from YouTube, maybe 7 months, and in that time, I fell across a couple of channels. Fratanga Plays. Oh no, it's Alex and Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this, and I just found it entertaining, the topics they touched on, mainly Doc Dark, because he always gives a very interesting take on his opinions about things that people say. But then I really got into Fratanga Plays because that dude's hilarious. And I was like, you know what? Let me just give it a shot. Put my own little edits on it, my own spin, because you got to stand out. You can't give the exact same thing everybody else is giving, because then everybody will call you a ripoff. You have to be different. So I was like, all right, well, let me let me deliver this, but with my own sense of humor and my own editing, and maybe I can involve like little tiny skits that I think are funny. So, really it was just the fact that I didn't want to quit. I think that's what it was. I didn't want to quit. That's what kept me into creating the content. I like the games. The games are fun, and it's enjoyment for me. And I wanted to find a community of people to enjoy it with. But it was tough to do that because nobody can see you when you're doing gaming news or gaming channels, because there's 8 million billion other people trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's really tough to build a community.
It
So
is.
I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll have to find another niche, and maybe those people that actually end up liking me may want to chill with me on my gaming channel. If I build a little community. So I gave it a shot. So really, it was just because I wanted friends, bro. I moved. I don't really have a lot of friends here.
I
So
feel
it's
you.
just,
I'm there with you, man. I
you
don't know
know,
anybody in this. I know I have 3 friends in this whole state, and one of them lives like 45 minutes away from me, and the other 2 live like an hour plus from me.
see
So
what I'm
like,
saying?
so like, I go to work and hang out with my family and play video games
Yeah.
and try to do stuff with them randomly outside the house. That's it.
Yeah, so it's just like, I would like to have a community of people that think like me, and like we could all kind of just like make jokes or play games or something, you know what I mean? I'd love to start a Jackbox party and know that like 40 people are in the chat, and like, people want to play with me. Like that would be fun. Because I love multiplayer games. That's the thing. I love multiplayer games, but every squad I've ever had always disbanded.
Yep.
At some point, like when I was younger, my Halo squad disbanded, heartbreaks. When I started getting into Warframe, my squad, bro, it was like 5 or 6 of us. Like we was on that game every day, disbanded. Everybody was gone. I was like, bro, what? Every group I ever got in split up, and I was just like, I had to stop playing multiplayer as much because I couldn't find legit people that liked the same things and wanted to play it with me. So I was just like, well, maybe if I make a YouTube and put those vibes out there, maybe I'll find some new friends or something. Maybe people want to play games with me.
Well, I'm vibing, bruh. I'm vibing. I'm with you.
Well, thank you, man.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to grab your gamer tag and everything after that. I'll have you actually DM me that information just so I have it, because I'm gonna be able to put all this stuff in the description for you. But for me personally, I'd like to definitely game with you. I got a few other people I game with like almost every night. There's always somebody in the party, and
Yeah.
and we're always just like, we're not always playing the same game, but like
which is good, man. There's
right.
like just thousands of games.
Yeah, so like sometimes my boy Mike will be playing like Doom, and like me and Matt are playing Halo, and then another person's watching YouTube. Like it's just like some bullshit like that. But like, and we don't know any of each other like personally. We're all from like, one's from like Maryland, another one's in Cleveland, another one's in Chicago.
Let me ask you a question. Are
What's
they all
up?
guys?
Huh?
Are they all guys?
Oh yeah, but my lady joins the party too sometimes.
Bro, I was gonna say this because my girl, she brought this up. She said guys don't even be knowing each other's first name, and they just be playing games together. Oh my god.
It's
I started
true.
laughing. I was like, I mean, you're not lying though. I really don't know a lot of people's first names. I just go by the name I go by online. And the only people that call me my first name are like my dad or maybe my job. You know what I mean?
See what's funny actually about my particular party that I'm talking about is all of these people have their names in their profile.
And you
So-
still just like,
I know that's their name though, because like
Oh my
sometimes when I
gosh.
pull up like their PSN or something like that, like I'm going to a party on there, it
Yeah.
shows like their whole name, and I'm like, that's a little unnecessary, but that is his real name, is what he showed in the party. So
It's
that's
just
funny.
funny. And then you never call them their real name.
No, not
I
at all.
never call anybody their real name.
Well, there's only one person in the party that we call. Actually, there's two people in the party that we call their real names because it's the beginning of their gamer tag.
Oh.
So
Well,
like,
I guess that makes
so
sense.
like Bill or Matt, like it's the beginning of the gamer tag. Which Bill, I only
Yeah.
that isn't even his real name. That's like his nickname. So I guess that technically isn't.
I
Whatever.
mean, that makes sense.
but anyways, totally different question. This is off the wall a little bit. What's a memorable game, or not a memorable game, but a memorable moment within your history of playing video games? If you were to pick one, I'm sure there's a few, but if you were to pick one.
I think it's always going to be multiplayer stuff because those moments you're making with other people. So I think those moments stick better. So if I had to say my most memorable moments, it's actually when I was a kid, because like I said, as I became an adult, I don't be having people to play with. So I remember the games I play. I just don't have a lot of memorable moments because it's just me by myself playing the game. So most of the ones are when I was younger, and I remember the most memorable, like the one that sticks out always, is when me and my brother were playing Halo, the first one, and we were just
On your fresh console?
Yeah, and we were just going through the story, and we were like, this story is crazy. The graphics are crazy. It was just like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And then we get into this one level, and it suddenly turns into a horror game. And then the flood come out, and we're like running away, and we're hiding in corners. We're like running out of ammo, sitting in the corner, shooting at the door. You know what I mean? And I'm never gonna forget that because the game completely blindsided me. Like I thought it was just, we were just a giant super soldier, and we landed on this ring, and now we have to fight aliens.
You thought you were just killing some goofy ass aliens until the flood came in.
I didn't know it was going to turn into a horror game. So that was when I first ran into them. That's probably my most memorable because that's the first time I was ever actually blown away and not able to predict something. I feel like that's another thing that games don't have these days is like unpredictability. Like most stories to me, I could just predict what's going to happen next and be like, oh, okay, well, that's just how my brain works. It's very analytical. So I do something and then I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is going to happen.
You're thinking of the outcomes.
Yeah. And I'm like, these are going to be the options that happens when I click this. So, I'm trying to just make the most efficient path to just, play the game. So, yeah, maybe that ruins it a little bit, but whatever, man. Some of these games are still fun. It's just, I don't know, they're not as predictable, which is why I think I've gotten into horror games a lot lately, because you don't know what to expect.
Fair enough. They have that element of surprise that's pretty cool. There was one game, I don't remember the name of it, that was shown at the Game Awards, where this like person's face was all out and like looking all crazy, and then they zoomed in and like it like formed back into like an old lady smiling, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to play this. This looks too crazy.
You gotta play it. Like, I'm into. This is the thing though. I'm into horror games. I just don't like some of the atmospheric ones that make you like solve puzzles. Those aren't scary to me. Like once I've been solving a puzzle for like 30-40 minutes, I'm just like, bro, where is the scares at? Like, I'm just sitting here running around putting this gold key in this box and then unlocking this and moving this. I just feel like, bro, this game ain't even scary no more.
Yeah, I felt like that a few times playing The Medium. I'm not sure if you played that game, but
yeah,
but
that's one of those games. It's
It
not like your typical horror. It's more like a survivalish kind of horror, I guess.
it's kind of a walking simulator puzzle with a dash of horror in it. Like it has some of those moments where it's like, oh damn, whoa, but like then the follow up is like a half hour of just running back and forth to
I
different
feel like
rooms.
that's most games these days. Like they're walking simulators, and then like yeah, it has like its action scenes or its fighting scenes, but then it's kind of like back to either a movie or like the walking. And there's nothing wrong with that, if you're really just kind of investing in the story. But if you actually want to play a game, um, there's a obvious divide between the two. Like Halo requires skill, right? You could play God of War or any of those other games. Yeah, they require some skill, just when to duck or roll or dodge or swing or something like that. But bro, playing Halo on Legendary, bruh, that's a whole nother level of skill. Like, golly, man. So for me personally, I don't play those games as much. I've been getting more into them lately because like I said before, I'm kind of by myself a lot now, so I've been playing single player more. But I prefer multiplayer. I prefer connecting with people and having friends in a community. That's kind of where I want to be at.
Yeah, I prefer bullshitting a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why games like Far Cry exist. Like the game is fun, the gameplay is fun, and you can like bullshit on the whole map and just run around and just do whatever you want.
That's why Borderlands is one of the GOAT games to me.
Of all time. Dude, I
Yes.
bought Borderlands 3. That game was so fun. But then you know what happened? All my friends dropped off and I had no squad again. And I was just sitting here playing the game by myself. I'm like, bro, I got this game to play with y'all. And all of y'all gonna vanish on me.
Yeah, I got a couple modded guns in that game for like doing missions with certain people and stuff like that, and like I can't even play that game anymore because of that. Because like I'll walk in a room and throw one grenade, and like Wotan or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll kill him in like 8 shots.
See,
Like.
and I wanted to play that game and get to that point, but I can't. I ended up playing that game by myself, and I was just like, man, I don't even want to play it anymore.
Oh man, I'll load it up with you, bruh. That sounds fun. I'm big into Borderlands 2 was my favorite one of them all because Maya the Siren was just the one that they killed in Borderlands 3. She was my favorite character of all of the Borderlands. So I was hot when I seen that she died in that game. Man, I was like, no.
We're gonna have to run the story because I didn't get to beat 2 for the exact same reasons. And little dumb me got 3 thinking, oh, my friends are gonna play this too. Nope. And I never beat 3 either. And I was just like, bro, I'm not buying no more games with you guys.
See, bruh, that's why Game Pass is the GOAT right now, because now you don't have to invest 60, 70, 35, whatever dollars. It's just $15, and you just mess around and just play and just see
it. If it was on Game Pass, we would have played it. They would have stopped, and I would have been like, well, at least I didn't spend no money on this
Exactly. Moving on, though. We got to move on. Here's a little game I like to play without overthinking. I'm going to say some names of different consoles, and I want you to tell me the first game that comes to mind. If you don't know the console, or you don't know any games for the console, just say pass. Okay? All right, so Sega Genesis.
Sonic.
Super Nintendo.
Super Mario World.
Sega Dreamcast.
Jet Set Radio.
Ooh, yes, a good one. Very good one. PlayStation.
PlayStation 1?
Yeah, very first PlayStation.
thinking either Crash Bandicoot or I'm trying to think if Oddworld was on the PlayStation 1.
I believe it
Or
was, yeah, because I know it was because it came in a demo disc
yeah,
of the original PlayStation when you first bought it.
those were two of my favorite games in the first PlayStation. Oh, lies. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay,
that's my number one game on PlayStation.
All right, 64.
Mario 64 and Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Man, that was my main console.
That was a triple threat. Triple threat.
Can't be touched, man. That's the three rings right there.
And then you add in GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, GoldenEye.
I haven't heard anybody mention this game, but a big game back in that day for me was Turok, Rage Wars.
Oh yeah, I never got to play Turok. My mom would never get that game.
Yeah, that game was wild. That game was pretty cool. Oh yeah, and Perfect Dark.
I never played Perfect Dark. Actually, I didn't play Perfect Dark until the Xbox came out.
The laptop gun was insane in that.
I played Perfect Dark on the Xbox. I didn't get to play it back then.
Okay. Speaking of Xbox One.
As in the first Xbox or as in Xbox One?
Xbox One.
Okay.
The console.
What game? What's probably one of my favorite games on the Xbox One? Dude, I should have plugged the camera in. The first game I got on there was Rise: Son of Rome. That was a good game.
That was the first game I got too.
I did like that game. But now actually Halo Infinite runs pretty well on there. I'm surprised it actually runs.
Okay. PS5. What's the first game that comes to mind?
I'll just say Ratchet and Clank, only because that's like the first kind of different game it's had, I guess, or maybe Returnal. But my reasons for thinking of like Returnal are different. That game was causing a lot of frustrations for people.
Okay.
So that's more so just because of the news. It was in the news a lot.
Oh yeah. It was. You had them telling you not to play it, and like don't put it in rest mode and all this jazz. Like I'm not even.
I was getting deleted and stuff.
I haven't even heard if rest mode is safe or not yet. Like it's been almost. It's still not. It's been over a year that I've had this console now, and it's still not safe to put it in rest mode. But nobody wants to talk about that.
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to the next subject. Let's let me go on ahead and ask you, what is one genre of gaming that you ain't fucking with?
She's like sneaking by like she's like a spy. What's one genre of game that I refuse or don't really enjoy playing?
Right.
Some simulations. I don't know, man. Like I really don't have a genre of stuff that I don't like. Because I'll literally try anything. I mean, on my gaming channel, I played Sims, and that was a pretty wild gameplay because I was trying to get everybody pregnant. So
I don't know anybody that played that game and didn't try to do either that or light the house on fire.
No, man, I put crazy mods on there. Like I had people that were homeless. I had a baby that was a drug dealer.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was possible. That's hilarious.
Yeah. There's mods where you can fight kids and stuff. So no, man,
that's terrible.
Whatever Sims gameplay you have in mind, trust me, mine was not that.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think. there's not a lot of games that I won't try, I guess.
You don't have one kind of game where you have to look at a little bit harder than others.
I was gonna say card games. That's the one that, like, it's really tough for me to get into too many card games. There are some that I have played where I actually like them, but for the most part, it's really tough for me to get into like those digital card games.
Yeah, I've never got into any of those. That's one of those skip buttons for me.
Yeah, I think those are the only ones. And Game Pass has had like a couple of them, but it's just not my thing. And that's fine. That's not the point of Game Pass. The point of Game Pass is so everybody has something that they like,
right,
that they're willing to try. So for the most part, I'll try mostly anything. But I question card games a little bit harder because I really don't know if it's going to be fun or not,
Fair enough. So now knowing that, what are your 3 best games of the year, and which one is like the top of the other 2?
I can't even. Oh, man, that's a tough question. My 3 top games of the year. For me, I would say I guess I would have to pick the ones that I connected with the most. So I connected a lot with Halo, obviously, because it's part of my childhood. But it's not even just that. They refreshed that game and they took something that was old and made it more streamlined and new. Like the fact that you could sprint. Yeah, they had that in Halo 5, but Halo 5, it was a trade-off. If you sprinted, it took away power from your shields. But like now, I just feel like a superhero. Bro, I just jump off of cliffs and fucking land and just start going ham. Like I feel like this is how Master Chief should have been felt. Like they got rid of the fall damage. Because you always see him in the ads, he jumps out of fucking planes and like he lands and then he just goes to war. You can't really do that in the old Halos. You jump out of a plane and hit the ground, you're dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now like I feel like a tank. Like I feel like this is how I wanted it to always feel. So I could feel like Master Chief. And I see why they said this is like a ode to those people that really love the original games. Because I feel like they gave me what I asked for. So that's one of them.
That was one of my biggest gripes in Halo 5 is like when you play the campaign and that you feel like you are just like surrounded and you got to get through the level. You're not beating the level. You're just getting through it.
Yeah. So, I would say definitely Halo is on that list because they gave me what I wanted. And the story's pretty good. And, the AI, the fighting, everything with that game to me is top tier. The only thing that's bad with it is just PC optimization, but that'll take time. I'm used to it. Some games just have poor PC optimization. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be Psychonauts 2. That snuck up on me. I really didn't know it was going to be as good, or if it was going to be as good as the old one. Because the old one, I didn't play that one until I was an adult. So I'm playing this with new controls in mind, not them old butt cheeks controls from back in the day. So if I could sit here and commit to that doo-doo gameplay, those garbage controls, and beat that game because it was just that good, that says a lot to me. So Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2. When Psychonauts 2 came out, I didn't know Psychonauts 2 was going to be that much better. So, and not only that, just they got deeper with the storytelling, deeper with the connections to the characters, deeper with the artwork and the gameplay.
Yeah, artwork is insane.
The artwork, dude, I felt like I was on a psychedelic trip half the time. I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when they said when they said Deathloop took best art direction away, because I was like, I don't think the panel played Psychonauts, bro, because that whole game was art.
Or It Takes Two. Not if it wasn't those two.
It Takes Two. It Takes Two had really good art. Like
Yeah.
like that part where you're playing in like the greenhouse.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
was insane.
yeah. And that's gonna be my number three. So I would say those are gonna be my top three. Which one is my favorite? So far, I've put the same amount of hours into all of them, except for It Takes Two. So Psychonauts, I put about 42 hours into that game. I actually 100%ed that game.
Wow.
I don't 100% a lot of games, dude. I actually 100% of that game because it is a good game. And I couldn't get enough of the gameplay, the powers, finding all the stuff. It was just a good game. And Halo, I'm about 45 hours into the campaign. It sounds crazy, but I beat it in Heroic already, and I went back to play it on Legendary. So Legendary is giving me quite a challenge.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's gonna kick your ass for a while, probably.
Yeah, fighting those hunters on Legendary is unreal. Like they should not be that damn like good. But whatever. I'm the dummy that likes punishment, I guess.
Gotta deal with it. That's how you going through it. Hey, I'm actually I beat it through on normal. I'm going through it right now on heroic. I'm saving legendary for multiplayer. For campaign co-op. I'm specifically
Dude,
saving legendary on
comes
that.
Out, we should play together.
Oh, we got it.
I want someone to play that with. I don't have anybody to play that with.
I want to get those achievements to pop when I'm going through campaign co-op because I just feel like I'm gonna need that kind of pat on the back after being pissed for so long in this level. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm specifically saving legendary for campaign co-op because I think that will be the most fun, especially listening to people get pissed off over the headsets. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I am the same. I initially I started playing it because I was just like, well, I'm gonna end up playing this by myself anyway. And then, you know what I mean? So, but I would enjoy playing it when they drop that multiplayer because it would be fun. Just running around in the sandbox, doing whatever you want.
Dope. All right. Well, those are 3 dope ass games, and I don't hate not one of them. I thought all of those were fire. I beat all of those games that you mentioned, but I gotta know for the future, for the next coming year, what's your most anticipated game? If you could only pick one.
That's gonna be tough. I think right now I'm on a kick of playing like, oh man, I never had like a lot of time to invest in games like Halo Infinite where it's like kind of like open world, a semi-open world. But I think I'm starting to like those games a little bit more because I think I just miss having the open freedom that they gave you where you can figure out to do how to do whatever you want to do however you want to do it. You know, if you want to run to the left and take out all the snipers, you could do that. You know, if you want to avoid that and go straight in, you could do that. So I think I'm looking forward to Starfield for that reason, because they said it's like Skyrim in space, which means that I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want. And I think that's what's appealing to me. I would love that game to be in multiplayer though, but who knows if they can even do that, man. But I would love to fly around space with friends and do whatever we wanted to do. You know, it's probably
I feel like it's just not gonna be multiplayer.
I know it's not, man, because Skyrim, all that stuff, even when Skyrim came out, like it wasn't what it was until later in its lifespan.
I just feel like if Bethesda's gonna come out to the street and put out its first masterpiece and be like, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Starting
not,
out with a multiplayer co-op game is not it.
I don't even think they can do that. I know they're not. I'm just, that's just hopes and wishes.
It is.
But I do think that that's probably going to be the next thing that I do actually want to kind of dump my time into, because I mean, I want a good space game. Like, I just do. I've played in Middle Earth and like all this other stuff, but I really enjoy space games. I miss space horror games too. I used to really like what's that one?
Like Alien?
It was by EA.
So not Alien.
No, it was Aliens. Where you play as Isaac. What was that game called? Man, it's been so long. They're supposed to be doing a remake right now.
Oh, is it Dead Space?
Dead Space. Yeah, man. I really love Dead Space. I remember all the ads when I was a little kid, and they'd have all these old people like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then they get terrified because they didn't expect you know what I mean? Like, I really like those deep space games and the deep space story games. Like, I would love something good that involves space, like or some type or science. Like, you ever seen that movie The Arrival?
Yes. Yeah, with the big old like
why aren't there games
shit
like that, dude? Why aren't there games like that? Like, I would love a game like that. Like, you know, aliens, space, crazy stuff happens.
They're trying to like decode like what they're saying and stuff like that.
Like,
and
I just, I want some good space stuff. So Starfield.
Decode this or your whole planet's gonna die.
Yeah, I feel like Starfield might fill in those two gaps where I like the open world stuff, but then I get to go in space and do space stuff, whatever that involves.
Well, then this next question might seem pretty interesting. If you were to go back into time and revive two games and bring them up to standard of like today's games, and I'm saying this has to be before the 360 and PlayStation 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to revive two games, what would those two games be?
Jet Set Radio Future and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Damn, you spit them out pretty quick.
Because those are my two favorite games from my childhood.
Jet Set Radio was so fire.
Jet Set Radio Future, Jet Set Radio, and Final Fantasy Tactics.
I like Jet Grind Radio too.
Oh yeah, Jet Grind Radio, my bad. Yeah, Jet Set Radio Future and Jet Grind Radio. Jet Grind Radio was originally on the Dreamcast, but then they put it on the Xbox, and then they came out with the second one on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say
the Xbox, I think, had the split of that game and Sega GT.
Yeah, that's
on one disc.
That's the one I had, and that was when I got my first taste of like a different style of music. I actually downloaded all of those songs. I found them all, downloaded them all, and I still have them. I still listen to them. So that was.
So you're not the only weird person that listened to video game music outside the video game, because I was the weird person back in the day.
Producers that made that music, it's just music to them.
Did you ever put your disc in a CD player and ever just like play the music from the video game? Because some of those video games back in the day, like Twisted Metal, like you could play most of those discs in your CD player, and it'd play a few.
I didn't even know that.
Oh man, dude!
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, I was that little kid that's like taking apart his old, microphone toy to dissect the speaker out to build more speaker pieces into his. Into his main like thing, so I could have more noise and more corners. like just dragging cords all over the room. Like I was that weird kind of kid. So like
I didn't know the games had, but I didn't have that ability back in the day.
Oh yeah, so I used to like take the video game CD, put it in the 5 disc changer or whatnot, turn on the disc changer, and then record it onto a gray cassette tape, and then just listen to it. like going to bed and stuff like that without.
I never got to do all that.
Oh yeah, man,
I never even owned any.
Oh, bro, I remember buying Marshall Mathers LP cassette tape at Kmart.
How old are you?
33.
Okay, I didn't even know that was on cassette tape.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So yeah, I've been around the block a few times with that stuff. But 2 good games. But here's kind of a weird question that's going to bounce in a totally different direction. What frustrates you about the gaming industry or console wars or just gaming in general? It could even be something as small as like, I don't like the style of games now or something like that. Whatever.
I think it's circumstantial, right? Because the side of me that works a lot and doesn't have time to play games says, I wish games were more drop-in, so I could just drop in, have some fun, and then leave. Because sometimes you don't have time to really sit down and invest 3-4 hours into a game. But then there's the other side of me that when I do have free time, I really do enjoy those 3 or 4 hours that I dump into the game. So it's that's kind of a my answer would be multi-layered. It really depends on how I feel. My biggest gripe that I used to have that's actually being squashed is I remember when Microsoft first started bringing Xbox games to PC, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I can play some of these games, but like you couldn't, like, I don't think at that time you could transfer your save data between the games. So my biggest issues always were the fact that there was no ecosystem with Windows, and Microsoft has pretty much crushed that, because now I can literally play the game on my computer, my phone, the TV,
smart delivery,
the browser, on a MacBook or whatever. I could literally just go wherever I want and play the same game, and my data moves wherever I am. And that, to me, that's really beneficial, because ADHD, bro, I be everywhere. You know what I mean? I don't just be sitting in one place all the time. So, for me, I kind of need that flexibility. But it's that. I think that needs to die with games. They need to stop making 2 or 3 versions of a game, splitting it across 3 or 4 different platforms, and then making you buy each one, and then only letting your save data stick to one platform. Dude, that's the most annoying, stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, I got the answer to your question now. That's what I hate about it. I hate the fact that I have Warframe and I have 3 different files on that game.
Man, yeah, Warframe.
Why do I have so many different files? I have one on the Xbox where I'm like, I don't even know where I am or what's going on. One on PC, and then one on PlayStation, and I'm just like, this is just stupid. I don't even play the game anymore because I don't want to play 3 different places.
I know. I stopped playing that game for the same reason. Like, I was just like, I initially kind of got, like, I first played it on my Xbox One, and then I was like, I'm gonna try it out on PC. I tried it out on PC and I really enjoyed it. And then my bros from Xbox was like, yo, like, you should play Warframe, let's play. And I'm like, I only enjoy it on my PC and I can't play with you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, once you dump like 3,000-4,000 hours in the PC, you're just like, I'm not gonna get on a console and then like sit here and have to start all the way over.
Same thing with Fallout 76. That drove me nuts. Like, my character is at a like it's not super. I'm not super far into the game, but I'm at a decent spot to where I ain't restart. You know what I'm saying? I'm several hours into it, and I don't want to play that shit again.
Yeah.
And then I got bros on Xbox saying, "Hey, let's play." Well, I can't, and that boggles me even more because Bethesda Xbox right now, Bethesda Xbox, you know, and this Fallout game I can't play on Xbox.
Yeah,
because I
it's
played it on
just
my PC, but
I think
it
it's
was before
because
then. Yeah.
yeah, that's but you agree with me though. That's like one of the most annoying things possible, and I understand why they can't do it. Because it came out that Sony charges these companies to do multi-platform kind of stuff, or cross-platform stuff, and the only reason that came out was oops. Dude, I'm fidgeting. The only reason that came out was because Epic Games has a case out or a lawsuit with Apple, and it came out that Sony. It just so happened to leak about Sony that they charge the developers to do crossplay, and obviously there's a lot of games out there where the developers can't afford to pay Sony that fee to do crossplay. So they just say, nah, well, if you're on PlayStation, you can play with PC, but you can't play with Xbox. And that's just a way to lock you into whatever goofy platform PlayStation has. But that sucks. That's what sucks. The fact that developers can't make their stuff work all together, no matter where you are.
And I'm okay with buying it on whatever console I prefer, and
I'd be
then
fine with it. Just make it work.
Having I bought the Xbox one, but like if I want to play it on my PlayStation, I have to buy the PlayStation version. I'm okay with that. But like if I decide to do that, can I have my save, please?
Yeah, can I at least have my save file? At least can I have my save file? Like, I don't know, man. That's probably my biggest gripe ever with games. Like, if I bought it 2 or 3 times in different locations, just let me have my save file. Can I move it wherever I want? And
super duper fact.
Yeah. So I guess that would be the answer to that question.
All right. Well, on the flip side of that, what is like a dream come true to you in gaming? What would be?
I would like to see VR gaming look as good as it does on like a 4K monitor or something, but it doesn't require you to have some $10,000 computer. I think that would be nice, especially with all these scalpers. They're like buying up all the computer parts, so people can't even upgrade.
Yeah, and I heard some rumblings about the government starting to want to get into that, and I'm like, I don't want to get too political, but I was just thinking, like, please don't let the government get into it. Come on, corporations, just figure it out. Corporations, figure it out on your own. Like once you let the government in, everyone's mad, including you.
I don't know what's gonna happen around that, but I will say something needs to be done to stop the scalpers. It's annoying. Like, I know they can detect stuff as a bot. There's no way you can't tell me, you just randomly happen to get 10,000 pings for all 10,000 of the PlayStations you had. Come on, man. You know all these are not humans.
It's all about money, though. They don't want to put in the kind of money that needs to be put in to keep them safe throughout those situations. You actually see Xbox and PlayStation going out of their way to make sure that like scalpers can't do it as easy. But these places like Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon, they're just like, just get it out of here. Just get it out of here so we can buy more and sell it again.
They'll sell the whole stock and then be like, oh, well, we're out. And it's like, bro,
because they don't care about the average customer.
What do you mean you're out?
So yeah, I mean, yeah, the third party store don't care, not near as much as the first party.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So yeah, that's a good one. That would be pretty dope. All right, so one question that I did not put on the list that I'm going to ask you real quick is there something on your mind that you would like to discuss?
Something on my mind that I would like to discuss in reference to gaming?
In reference to, gaming or whatever. This is the first time of me asking this question on this show. I just thought of it on the drive home. I was like, you know what? I'd never give anybody the opportunity to just say something. You know, I got all these questions. I make them answer all my questions, but do they got a question for me, or do they have something that's just been burning that they just need to get off, and I'm just not. I'm not mentioning it.
My biggest thing is I wish people would get off of these devs' backs. And when I say that, I mean it in like the purest sense. Like if a game comes out and the game is like literal trash, and when I say literal trash, I mean like it's unplayable, it's breaking stuff. Fine, you have all rights to complain about that game. But people complaining about games and trying to tarnish games and ruin the way the games look by spamming and making fake accounts and trying to ruin, you know, reviews and talking shit online, like that's just kind of stupid, man. Because like there's real people behind these companies working on these games, and they're passionate about these games, and this is their art. And people who fucking work at McDonald's are trying to shit on their game. It's like, bro, you work at McDonald's, like relax. You're over here yelling about console supremacy or whatever you want to talk about. I don't care what platform you're on. And the reality of it is you mean nothing to these companies. You're just a sale. You know, the real people that it matters to is the people that are creating the art that they want. It would be like if I made a good video and like everybody just said, I'm gonna go shit on his video just because I feel like it. You know, I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and that would be annoying, very annoying, you know, because I know these people are doxing these developers, sending death threats. It's just, bro, when I was younger, you just enjoyed the game, even if it had glitches. It was funny. You laugh at it.
You took advantage of the glitch.
You took advantage of it. But now people are sitting here, oh, let a glitch happen. 10,000 people are spamming it all over Twitter because, oh, this piece of sand was bent to the left and the leaf looked improper. And it's like, bro, somebody needs to slap you, man. Like, what is wrong with you? So really, you know, if I had anything to say, that's probably it. Leave the devs alone unless you have legitimate complaints. Because calling somebody's game trash just because it's not on your platform of choice, that's stupid. But I mean, the reality
it's
of it
lazy, man. It's lazy.
Yeah, it is. Like, you know, the reality of it is I've realized though that these people, it's either they're chasing clout because they started off their platform negative, and that's all they can do now is remain negative. Otherwise, they won't get any attention. Or it's like an actual mental thing, which I have planned in a video. And I can't tell you what it's about, but it's gonna be funny.
I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, so it's one of the two. It's either they're doing it because they need that clout, because, you know, how else are they gonna grow from 250 followers to 253? Or it's, you know, something's mentally wrong with them. And if it's a mental thing, I'm not gonna judge them. I'm just gonna say, hey, bro, you probably need to talk to somebody.
You know what? I like it.
Just go talk to somebody, man.
I like it. I think I'm gonna start calling that question "Get it off your chest." Yeah. What you gotta say? Get it off your chest, and you got it off your chest right there.
That's the main thing I have, man, because it's just stupid seeing people just shitting on developers. You know, they're taking like screenshots of Hellblade Senua's Saga, and it's like, dude, YouTube compresses the shit out of every video. Mm-hmm. You lose so much quality of a video just uploading it to YouTube that immediately everything looks smoother, softer. You know what I mean? I did that. I actually did that for that video that I'm talking about. I actually went back, played every Sony PlayStation game in 4K, and then took a screenshot just so I could add that in the video to show you what it looked like. It looks like cheeks. Every game looks like cheeks. You know what I mean? I went back and I found videos of bugs and glitches in all of these games. Every game has glitches and bugs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of pop in, like when you first watch that trailer that they had earlier, like mid this year, of Horizon Forbidden West, there's a lot of popping on the grass,
Yeah.
like the grass with the sand mixture.
Yeah,
There's a ton of
game.
popping right there, but I'm not gonna record it and put it on Twitter because what's that do for me?
You see what I'm saying? So that's my biggest complaint is it's not even necessarily about gaming. It's about the community around gaming. Like, let's just say you were a woman and you saw a guy and you were like, oh man, that guy looks attractive, but then you saw him participating in that online. You'd be like, this dude is a nerd. He's a loser. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is he doing with his life and his time? Like, he's waking up every morning at 6 a.m. to take a screenshot of Halo Infinite's multiplayer on Steam charts and then complain and say, oh, the game is tanking. It's like, bro, it's 3 a.m. Who's up playing this game at 3 a.m.? Like,
like I don't know. I guess some people have different dreams than others.
yeah, so that's probably the only complaint I have. Really, it's not even about gaming itself. It's the community. The community gives a bad vision to people that like gaming. You know what I mean? And that's why I like making fun of the community, because we all know what I'm talking about. Those people are weird.
Yeah, it makes everybody that kind of plays it look different. Like I could only imagine somebody that doesn't like gaming that were thinking about it and then seeing some of this stuff like on Twitter and stuff like that, and they're like, man, gamers are just nasty people. Like that. I mean that's what I would think if I seen it objectively from the outside, and I was introduced to gaming through Twitter. I'd be like, man, get me out of here.
I'm not gonna get involved in that. It's not even just those people too. It's also people that played Halo. Like Reddit, the thread was getting so toxic they had to shut the Reddit down. You know what I mean? And it's just like, come on, man. Like, y'all are adults now. Like, you're 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, whatever your age is. I'm only going off of that based off my average viewership. My average viewership's between 18 to 35, which kind of makes sense. That's like the most gamers out there. And then like somewhere in the early 40s is where the other large portion is. So it's just like, a lot of y'all are grown, man. A lot of y'all are grown. What are you doing?
You know better, so do better.
Yeah, you can't just enjoy the game and then like, oh, that's a funny glitch, and then like just go back to the playing the damn game.
I feel you. Well, we're coming down to the end. I gotta ask you one last thing before I have you describe gaming for me. But what's something fun that nobody really knows about you?
Something fun that nobody really knows about me.
Or maybe I should reword it. What's something somebody wouldn't see you like enjoying or couldn't guess about you?
Something someone couldn't see enjoying about something about me. I don't know. That's a tough one. Hold on. Let me ask my girl. Hey, babe. What's something weird that I do or that I like that nobody would know that I like? Yeah.
I like the third party support.
Cookie cream pies. I do, but I think that's more so something that I eat. No, like something that I do, like something that I do that I enjoy, that I guess nobody really knows. She said, okay, so she said I like to bust out in freestyles randomly. I really do. Oh yeah. I have a bad habit of like okay, wait, okay, hold on. Before I say this, I need to add a disclaimer. So I found out like, how like Tourette's, like people have to like blurt stuff or say things like it's like a kind of like a tick.
Yeah.
I found out that people with ADHD actually have tics, and a lot of times, sometimes they get it confused with that other syndrome because they have tics as well. But in reality, we can have them too. Like my tics are verbal and like physical. So like if you've watched me this entire time, you probably didn't notice, but I've been sitting here doing this the entire time.
No, I've noticed you've been doing something with your hands.
Yeah, or
I can't see.
I've had my bottle and I'm sitting here doing.
You're
this.
unscrewing it. You'll look in it, and sometimes you'll screw it back on. I'm like, why did you just do that?
That's a habit of mine. So the other thing is auditory. So I rap a lot, but I say like really terrible things, and it's just bad, man. It's bad, but it's like my tick sometimes. So like when I'm sitting here, I just, you know what I'm saying, just blurt out something about slapping a grandma. I'm not really gonna slap any grandmas. You know, disclaimer, I'm not really gonna slap any grandmas, but like if you ever hear me say that, it's just a tick of mine.
That's funny. That's really funny. All right, so and then last but not least, describe gaming for me by using only 3 words.
Gaming in 3 words. That one's tough, man.
One of my favorite questions because it makes everybody sit back and just think for a second.
This is a tough one because, you know, now that I don't want to say now, since I've been in IT for a while and I work on the back end of things, I see how much they grind and grind and grind, like grinding the crap out of people. So, you know, I want to look at it positively and say, you know, something like creativity and art and storytelling, you know, something like that. But then the other side of me is like, yeah, but I know they're squeezing these people thin to get these stories and stuff out of them, this artwork out of them, you know. And for me, it's really tough to be an artist when you're being forced to do stuff, or even to think about it as being forced to do. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of those people get in there because they, you know, they want to do it. I just hope that a lot of them enjoy it. I don't want them to, you know, be like me, where you feel like, you know, you lose your passion for stuff because of the forcing. I used to really love technology, man, but I don't care for it anymore. And that's just because I'm forced to fix it all day. I don't care about it. Man, that's a tough one. I would say hopeful. That's one word. And the reason I would say hopeful is because with all of these tools out here like UE5 and things like YouTube, it's opening a new door for new creators to develop new games. I'm not talking about these big AAA games. Like, all right, I get it. They're big AAA. They're probably going to automatically be good, you know, for the most part. But I mean, like the people like you and me, somebody who's grinding through work and they sit here for 2, 3, 4 hours trying to learn UE5 so they can develop their first game and put it on Steam. You know what I mean? I'm hopeful because I want to see more people get creative. I want to see more people be able to tell their own personal stories. You know, even the games like Among Us, that game is, you know, it's stupid. It's a small game. It's fun. It's entertaining. It was made by like one guy or like a small team of people. And, you know, I heard at one point it wasn't making no money and they were talking about the game was going to, you know, the company was going to fall apart or whatever. Some people on YouTube played it and that game blew up. And that guy, I'm sure his entire lifestyle changed after that. So yeah. I would say hopeful is the first word. What's another word? Grateful. And I would say grateful because I really do appreciate that the time that some of these people put into that storytelling. Some of those games hit me really hard, man. You know, like when you really sit and think about it and you start being able to actually connect with the characters. I would have never been able to do this as a kid because you don't have like the mental capacity to understand the depths of some of these characters in games. But now that you're an adult, you can kind of appreciate it from another perspective. It's kind of like how, when we became older, people were like, oh, you're getting older when you start to agree with the Joker. Like, that meme?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes though, man, sometimes I look at Heath Ledger, I'm like, I don't know, bro. Them words kind of hitting right now. You know what I mean? So like now that I'm older, like I'm able to just like connect with some of these stories that these people have written and these characters and the emotions. So I would say hopeful and grateful. Those are two of my biggest words. I'm hopeful for new stories to be told. I'm grateful for the stories that are being told, and excited. I will say I'm excited for everything that's going to come. Now with companies, well, depending on the company, I'm okay with acquisitions from PlayStation to Xbox because gaming is what they do. So I'm not really concerned with them closing things down right now because they need these companies so they can keep building their services. But companies like Amazon and Google kind of frighten me because they're known for buying things and shutting it down. And I don't want to see great studios get bought and then shut down. I don't want to see thousands of people losing jobs, So hopeful, grateful, and excited because companies like Bethesda now can develop games and not have to worry about some stock investor talking about, oh, we need to make a 50% return on this game. And then they end up finding some way to ruin it with monetization just because they need to make the money back. You know what I mean? Now that entire thing is gone from their head, so they can just focus on making a good game.
Yep.
So I would say those are the three terms: hopeful, grateful, and excited.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Well, that is where I'm going to conclude it. Rings, aka the Salt Mines, thank you so much for joining me on my show today. It's very appreciated.
No problem at all. It's gonna be hell to edit, bro. It's a long video.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit, but I enjoy it. That's part of that's almost my own little experience. Like, like gaming is one thing, and I feel like editing is a game of its own. Because I get to kind of create and make it look the way that I want to look. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. You guys that watched it, please make sure to like and subscribe if you can. That would be fantastic. But we are out of here. Thank you for watching. See you later.
Subscribe.
Make your dreams come true. Just do it.